Hey everybody, Jeremy here, coming to you today from my living room, which is a different setting than I usually have because this is a different kind of video. So in addition to all the collecting and stuff that I do, I also try to get my hands on some products, household products, that I think is going to help me to create a more effective household. And that's what this thing is for. This is the Housmile Aroma Humidifier. So what is this thing? What does it do? Well, it serves a couple of different purposes. It wears a couple of different hats. For one, it's a humidifier, which basically means it's going to increase the moisture levels in the air. It's going to raise the humidity level so that it's not so dry in here. If you're prone to nosebleeds, especially in the winter, that can be a reason why you're getting nosebleeds because the air is so dry. That's going to help to alleviate that. And also, like here in Georgia, summer is just rapidly coming down on us and it gets so freaking hot here all the time. So I'm going to be running this air conditioner constantly, and all that cool air in here might do the exact same thing as the winter time. It's going to dry everything out. So I'm going to put some more moisture back in the air, and it's also supposed to do stuff like relax you and help you sleep better and all that kind of stuff. But the second purpose that this thing serves is that it's also an essential oil diffuser. So basically what that is in addition, when it shoots up all that nice mist, you can put some scented liquids in there and it's going to help your entire area smell very, very nice with whatever different type of scented flavor that you want to use. And that's what I'm really excited about. Because when you walk into someone's house, if it smells very nice, it's not too heavy, but it's just very pleasant. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. I want to feel comfortable in my own home. So this, if you want it, you can pick it up for about 30 bucks on Amazon.com. And this was sent to me by the good folks at Housmile. So thank you very much for that. And as luck would have it, I was just in the market for something just like this and they reached out to me. So we're going to check this thing out right now. Now this is a larger humidifier than ones that I usually see and some other ones that I was looking at because this can hold 1.8 liters of water. And that is a lot. You can see right there, 1.8 liters. And another cool thing about this is it has color changing LEDs inside of it. So if you wanted to put this in a room and it was pretty dark, those color changing LEDs will just softly change color and it'll just really make a very nice piece to talk about in the room. What's that thing that's lighting up? What's that thing that smells so good? Why isn't my nose bleeding? All that can be answered with one simple answer, and that's because of the Housmile Aroma Humidifier. But before we go talking about this anymore, let's take it out the box, see everything that comes with it, show you how to set it up, and then talk about it a little bit more afterwards. So let's take a look at everything that comes in this box. First, we've got some styrofoam, which is always a wonderful thing to have. And here we go. It's kind of reminded me of R2-D2 in a way, taking it out of this box. Now naturally it is going to come with a instruction manual to show you everything that you need to know about how to operate this thing, and we are going to be reading that. But let's rip this plastic right off. This lid comes off, so that's good to know as well. And let's take a look at this thing here. So right off the bat, this is a rather large humidifier. You see, look at this huge dome here. And I imagine this is where you're going to put the water in. It has a water inlet right here. And this here is the base. And of course, the way that it came in the box, we're just going to have to set that down on there. And making sure that the Housmile logo lines up with the power button right there. And there is a power switch on the back. It's nice and red, so you can't miss it. On and off switch. And it's not powered by battery, so you are going to have to plug this in into an outlet. So wherever you choose to put this huge humidifier, you're just going to have to make sure that you have easy access to an outlet so that you can preferably hide the cord so people won't trip over it or anything like that. All right, so let's get this thing filled up. All right, so let's fill this thing up with some water. Now I went ahead and I plugged it in, and I just simply took this base here and I just removed that. It's very, very easy. And we're going to unscrew this water inlet here. So we're just going to unscrew that. That comes off real easy. And then there's just a spot up here where we can just pour the water in. So I just grabbed myself a bottle of water. Now it holds 1.8 liters. This bottle of water is only 16.9 fluid ounces. But we're going to pour it in there anyway. So there's the water. There's the inlet, and in it goes. Now, this probably is not going to fill it all the way up to the top, but that's okay. I'm just going to put the whole bottle in there, and it is still going to work. Now that we've got that done, we're just going to take this little cap, we're going to put this back in, and we're going to make sure that it's screwed on there pretty tight, like that. And now we're just going to dump it right back onto here. So we're going to line up the Housmile name to the front once again, and we're done. Now, this power button right here, it has 3 different levels, so you can keep tapping it for level 1, level 2, and level 3, and it's just going to determine how much of this mist is going to put up at one time. According to the good old instruction manual, the low level is going to put out approximately 60 milliliters. 160 is going to be level 2, and then level 3 is going to be 220 milliliters per hour. That's what I'm imagining. So we're going to put it on the highest setting. So let's just press this button. 1, 2, and 3. And check out the mist. So as you can see, that's a pretty healthy level of mist that we have coming out of this thing right now. And you can also see the LEDs a little bit, because the switch on the back of this humidifier, it's the on and off switch for the LEDs. So you can choose to turn that on and off at your leisure. But I understand that it's a little bit difficult to see those LEDs right now. So I'm going to kill these lights, and we're going to take another look at it. Kill that light. Let's kill that light. And kill this light here. So this should give you a better impression of all the LEDs and how they change. So it looks really cool. The little slits on the side, they don't produce a lot of space for the light to shine through. So this isn't going to light up a room. It's just going to be noticeable, but it's not going to be as noticeable because the entire dome doesn't light up. I think it would be awesome if the entire dome lit up, but it doesn't, but it's still nice to have those LEDs. So it's been a few days since I first started working with this humidifier, and I wanted to give you a few more thoughts before I wrapped up this review. So one of the things I want to talk about is the noise. How loud is this thing going to be? Because it is quite a large humidifier. And the answer is it's not loud at all. It's actually quite pleasant. It just emits a nice low hum, and it's comparable to something like a laptop whose fan is going very, very slowly. So if that doesn't bother you, and ambient noise from your refrigerator, or just about any kind of ambient noise that you might have around your home, if you don't need to be in 100% complete silence, then this is not going to bother you at all. In fact, sometimes you can even hear the water kind of curdling and bubbling up in it, and for some people they might find that to be therapeutic. Who knows? Another thing I want to mention about this humidifier is all the mist, the smoke that comes up from this humidifier is actually quite cool to the touch. And I didn't expect that at all. I thought it would just be maybe room temperature, but it was actually quite cool, and that was surprising. Now, an interesting thing is when I had this set up in the largest area of my home, which is the living room, and I thought that that would be fitting considering how large this is. And I set it like between 10 to 12 feet away from me, and my air conditioner was off. It's about 82 degrees in here, and that's when things started getting kind of warm, so I want to turn on the air. But strangely enough, when this humidifier was going, as I was breathing in what felt like cool air. I'm not saying that it cooled down the place, because it didn't, but just me sitting on the couch, and as I was breathing, one of the things I noticed was I'm not used to breathing this kind of a cool air when it's this warm. And for me, that's a sign that I need to turn on the air. When I start breathing in warm air, it just becomes very uncomfortable for me. But this was emitting that cool mist coming into the air, and it was actually getting to me, and I thought it was quite pleasant. Now, I did end up turning on the air conditioner, but I took longer to do it than I usually did. And I really don't think I would have done that if this humidifier wasn't on. And I also did the same thing when I set this next to my bed when I went to sleep at night. turn it on the lower setting, and because it was that much closer to me, it still maintained that nice cool mist, and I felt myself breathing that in as I was laying down, and I found that to be quite comfortable. I also wanted to see how long this humidifier would last when it was set on its highest setting. So I got some distilled water and I filled it all the way up. It takes 1.8 liters of water, and I started it at 12:55 p.m. And between 10 and 10:30 p.m. later on that same day, that's when the humidifier finally turned itself off because it had no more water to give. So it lasted quite a long time on the highest setting. So I would imagine if you were to keep this on the lowest setting, which puts out the least amount of mist into the air, then it will last far longer than the 9.5 hours that it did when it was set on full blast. I also had this set up in my living room because I figured large humidifier requires the largest space available. So if you're not going to be running this constantly, you can get some decent life out of this thing, especially if you only have it on the lowest setting. One thing I was a little disappointed with was the fact that it's an aroma humidifier, but inside the box, it didn't come with any type of aromas to try out. If you have some essential oils, you can put it in the same compartment where the water goes, and then when all the mist shoots up, you'll be able to smell those essential oils. And that's something I was really looking forward to, but unfortunately, nothing came in the box. Not even a little tiny packet with a few drops worth, so you can kind of see what you're getting at. So although I really can't say how well it can actually dispense that smell, because I just want to tell you how this thing works right out of the box without you having to buy anything extra. So I would have liked to have seen some type of sample oil in the box just so we can have an idea of how well it can be used. But if you want to find that out, you're just going to have to spend a little bit more money and take a gamble on it. So all in all, I really like this thing, you know? I love the way the LED lights look when you have it all plugged in a dark room at night. I like the way that the mist shoots up and it's constant, it's thick, and you can see it, especially on the highest setting. And I also like the way that it made me feel as I was laying in bed or just laying in the living room and I was breathing in that nice cool mist. It was very relaxing and I rather enjoyed it. So if you are in need of a humidifier, I do think that this is a pretty reasonable price. It is only around $30 and it holds a ton of water. So you'll be able to fill it up, and if you don't run it all the time, you'll be able to get a lot of life out of it. But even if you do run it all the time, distilled water is not that expensive. We're talking 88 cents, maybe $1 for an entire gallon. So if you wanted to run this thing constantly, you're going to be investing in a lot of water unless you decide to use water from your tap or something like that. But other than that, I like this thing. I think you should give it a try if you're looking for a humidifier that you can place inside of a room or perhaps even a living room. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I'll talk to you later.